Hey guys, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. Thanks again for joining me for another one of my videos today. And I'm actually really excited to be talking about this topic because it hits close to home. It's something that I can relate to and something that I have worked on for 16 plus years in my relationship. So I'm hoping that some of my tips that I can give you will be helpful for you guys and your relationship as well. So the topic of the day has to do with how do I deal with having a stubborn boyfriend? I don't know if my other half would want me to say this. I don't think he would mind, but he is definitely stubborn at times, and I'm sure he would say the same thing for me as I know I am. We are both, if you believe in astrological symbols, we are both fire signs. We're different fire signs, and in those fire signs, we can be pretty stubborn at times and want our opinion to be right, and we need our other person to hear what we have to say and have that be validated and acknowledged, and hopefully have our other half agree with us. And it does sting a little bit when we need to be siding with our other half's opinions over our own. But over time, you need to learn how to be doing that, having that give and take. You can't always be right. But when you have a situation where you have a stubborn partner, that really means, I think at the end of the day, that you just want your significant other to see your point of view, which is absolutely understandable. We need to feel heard, right? We need to feel validated. We need to feel like they know what we are saying and where we're coming from, and acknowledging our feelings and our emotions around it. So when you have a stubborn significant other, usually you feel like they're stubborn because you feel like you're just not getting through to them. There's this wall that they have up, and no matter what you say, you are just unable to penetrate that wall. And then therefore we give them the definition of being a stubborn person. There are things and tactics in conversation, tips that you can use that I really think will help you get past that stubborn wall and be able to get through to your other half. So I wanted to give you some tips today on how to do that. These are things that I use every day in my relationship, and I think my significant other uses them on me as well. So it's kind of funny. So the first tip in order to deal with having a stubborn partner, and again, these are tips in conversation that you can use to get them to hear you, has to do with positive comments in the conversation that you're having. So for example, if I know that I need to have a really hard conversation with my significant other, I usually start the conversation with a compliment, something that I appreciate about him, something that I really love about him, something that he does that I just think is really great. And I know that as soon as I start that conversation that way, I see his eyes just kind of like light up, and I know he feels really warm and fuzzy inside and really appreciates that. So I kind of am able to kind of get in, right, with a compliment, and I do mean it, so it is 100% genuine. And then once I do that, then I switch into the conversation that really what I want to talk about, which is something maybe difficult, and it's all about how you approach it. So you need to give the compliments, but when you actually decide to approach the issue, and this is your second tip, it needs to be coming from a place of stating what you need. That means I'm noticing this, I'm feeling this way, I'm needing this, and I was just wondering, how you feel. Like, would you be able to support me with this? Would you be able to help me out? That's way more effective on getting through with somebody and penetrating through that stubborn wall than starting the conversation with, you're not doing this, you need to do this, you're not meeting my needs. Immediately that wall is going to come up, and you're not going to be able to get through, and your partner is not going to really hear what you have to say. So start with those compliments, then use those I statements about, I'm feeling a certain way, I need this. That's going to really help take the blame off of your other half and just put it on a personal need that you have, and just have a discussion. It's all about the delivery of what you say and how you say it. I really feel that if you can figure out a way to tactfully talk about things, that you are going to be able to avoid a lot of arguments and fights with your significant other, but it takes practice. Also, another thing to do is, try to separate the problem from the person. You know, a lot of times if there's an issue, you know, even for myself, if my other half has like something that I'm not doing right, like a behavior that I'm not doing, you know, I'll think like, oh my God, like, does this mean that I'm not a good person? Am I a bad girlfriend? You know, like I'll internalize it about myself, right? But if you separate the problem from the person, that's actually a lot more effective, you know? Say if there's an issue with like, maybe not calling you, after work and letting him know that he's going out with his friends, you can say, hey, just not getting a phone call, that makes me feel really just worried because I don't know where you are, and I would really appreciate getting a phone call. So notice how I separated the phone call incident from the actual he's not doing that, right? I was able to kind of take out the problem and make the problem and not integrate the problem with him. That can be a lot more effective. That takes a lot of advanced efforts in order to do this, and it takes practice. But I think if you try to separate the issue from the actual person, that's another way to get through that kind of impenetrable stubbornness wall when it comes up. So I really want you to give that a try, okay? So those are the 3 things. You need to obviously state what you need. You need to do those positive comments, and you need to separate the problem from the person. And I really think that if you could do those 3 things and do it over and over and over again, in any conversation you have, of anything that you need him to know in order to, for you to be happy, in order to address future concerns, use those 3 tips, and I really think that they're going to be very helpful for you. I know they've worked for me in my relationship over a long period of time, and it took a lot of skill building and time to build up, but once I got it down, it was pretty golden, and it's been golden. And of course, there's still some times that I run into stubborn times, but I need to use these tactics in order to get through, and my other half uses them on me, and it works like a charm. If you have any question about these tips, comment below, ask me any questions about it. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already. Again, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.